surprise or whatever.
Yeah.
And you looked up, and I'll never forget the look on your face.
I have a video of it.
It was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what is this? What is this? Is this for me? Like, you weren't sure. It seemed
I was such a deer in headlights. It was insane.
Yeah, you didn't get it. And part of that was because your birthday was 2 months ago.
Welcome back to Oops the Podcast.
All right, lots to unpack here.
I got something for you.
Please. Giulio, I don't know where you came up with that idea.
Dude, this guy was a huge turkey.
What is this, Japan? Which is one of the reasons why I hadn't told you about it.
No, and I also just assumed you were saving it for the pod if you were going to tell me.
Yeah.
Which, of course you were.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to Oops the Podcast. I'm Francis Ellis. He is Giulio Gallerati.
That is who I am.
Good to see you, pal.
What's up, dude?
Well,
Good to see ya.
I'm coming off a little bit of a pizza hangover.
Dude, okay, so a few weeks ago, you guys might remember me talking about how the next time I have a birthday party, I want to have like a child's birthday party, like a 7-year-old's birthday party with dinosaurs and trophies for everyone for no reason.
Yeah.
Participation.
This is troubling in a way.
And there's a specific place too. Bravo Pizza. I think it's on 21st and Park. There's a little upstairs area, and I would go in there and I'd be with my friends and I'd be like, dude, I want to have a party up there one day. And like, it became this joke, right? My parents heard that episode of the podcast and threw me the fucking party.
They sure did. And Hill Dog too.
Yeah. I think my parents were the masterminds sort of and then Hill Dog was the man on the ground.
I think Hill Dog had more to do with it than you'd think, but I could be wrong.
No, she definitely did.
I'm saying in the genesis of the party.
Oh, right.
Because she texted me originally and said, I think she said that she had been listening as well. And then she and your dad both conferred.
Interesting.
And just realized that would be a fun idea.
Well, the angel that she is, she was saying, it was your dad's idea, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I gathered too that she was very much involved in the planning process. I mean, it was a very small little thing, but it was very funny, dude. And so the whole day, my dad had planned this weird day for us that he like very much made me commit to, which was fine. But then it was really hot. We're doing all this stuff, driving around the city, doing fun stuff, whatever. And he starts just being like, I want pizza tonight from that place you had talked about. I'm like, Bravo? Wow. He's like, yeah, let's go there. And I'm like, okay. I was like, why don't we like call it in and bring it to the house? And he's like, no, I want to go there. And I'm like, Dad, why? I'm like, there's nowhere to even sit in there. Because in my head, the upstairs catering area is not the actual pizzeria. So I was actually like ragging on the place, which must have been confusing for them. I was like, dude, that place is a dump. It's not. But like, I was like, why do you want to eat there? You know what I mean? Which now, so then like, I basically am sitting there attempting to sabotage this little plan that they had put together. And I run in to grab the pizzas because I had also ordered myself separate takeout because I was like, dude, I don't want pizza. Like I just gotten back from being on the road all weekend. Like I was trying to eat healthy. Obviously for a huge fucking pizza party, I'm going to eat all the pizza. But if it's a non-occasion Tuesday night, I don't want pizza.
Tuesday, remember, is Giulio's day.
Tuesday? Yeah.
That's his day of the week where he gets his life together.
You're right, dude. Thank you for remembering that.
Of course.
It is. I get my life together. I'm productive. I eat healthy. I have a very good day most Tuesdays. It's my favorite day of the week as far as productivity is concerned. So I don't need, and then my dad starts being like, order pepperoni. I'm like, you don't eat pepperoni. I'm like, since when do you eat pepperoni? So, and I'm like being very patient this whole day. I was like kind of tired. And then I start to get a little like grumpy because he's just hammering home this pizza idea. Not to mention, it seemed as if my uncle and my mom, Zio Butch was in the house, didn't want to be doing all this gallivanting. I don't know if they had planned it to make it seem more realistic, but he's like, why don't we do this? And they're like, what? Can we just go chill at Giulio's apartment?
Whoa.
Like
That's a deep cut.
I know. I had reminded them, I'm like, guys, I now have an apartment where I can host people. We can go hang out in the apartment for a little, let's just chill.
Wow.
We'll bring pizzas over. And like, no, my dad's like, I want to eat there.
There's some really deep fake reverse psychology going on there to have two of the three in on the secret, trying to shoot down the secret.
Right. So, dude, and we'll talk more about the party reveal and stuff. But I felt when I initially saw what was happening, I immediately just felt racked with guilt that I had been resisting, that I had been making it so difficult because this is the one of the sweetest things anybody's ever put together on my behalf. It was touching and sweet and it was great, dude. But I felt bad because I was like, I don't want to fucking go there. You know what I mean?
I don't want pizza. Place sucks.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about, Dad?
The place is great in the scheme of things, but whatever. So it ended up being great, dude. It was also funny. So it was a 7-year-old's birthday party. Had a big birthday cake with the number 7, happy birthday written on the wall with like it was a banner.
We had medals.
There's probably 8 people there, 10 people there.
Yeah, medals. Participation trophies, as though we'd won a meaningless co-ed soccer game.
Right. And Ricky's son was there, who's like 4.
Yeah.
And seeing him have fun really should have validated the party planners.
We needed him. They
had planned a party properly.
Yeah, we definitely needed him. He was the piece that sort of allowed us to all see the world through his eyes, through his prism.
Yeah, exactly.
And if not for that, it would have just been a bunch of weird adults doing some very bizarre role-playing activity.
Dude, there were dinosaurs. There were plush toy dinosaurs. There were bubbles. People were blowing bubbles.
Yeah.
Danny Palmer sitting there wearing a little birthday hat, blowing bubbles. And dude, at one point, Ricky's son starts singing happy birthday. Then everyone starts singing happy birthday. And after happy birthday, dear Giulio, he chose to omit the final 25% of the song and just started going, yeah. And then everybody started going, yeah, dude. So funny. So we sang happy birthday twice. We blew out the candles together. Okay, dude. Sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
Really fucking funny.
It was great. It was really fun. It's fun to be in on a secret for a friend. A surprise party. I haven't done that in a long time. And especially something so bizarre. We had this wonderful vantage point where we were all up on the sort of balcony area waiting for Giulio to walk in, totally unsuspecting. And sure enough, he comes straight in, and nobody had decided when exactly we would reveal ourselves. We're in plain view, but down below is the pizza counter, right when you walk in, with a whole case full of slices. So there's a lot to distract the eye from where we were. And sure enough, Giulio came in, and it was almost instantly this unspoken agreement, oh, let's not yell yet. Let's not yell yet. And you walked straight up to the counter. You started ordering pizzas or something, and then we all went, surprise, or whatever. Yeah. And you looked up, and I'll never forget the look on your face.
I have a video of it.
It was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what is this? What is this? Is this for me? Like, you weren't sure. It seemed I was such a deer in headlights. It was insane. Yeah, you didn't get it. And part of that was because your birthday was 2 months ago. It was a unseasonably late surprise birthday party. It was insane. It's just a totally delayed fuse, which was great. I mean, if you ever want to throw someone a surprise birthday party, do it months away from their actual birthday. That really helps to elevate the surprise. And he kind of figured it out, and then he came up, and his parents walked in, and we all had this great time. You know, just drinking beers, eating pizza, having birthday cake. You know, it was great. I had an absolute blast. It was fun, man. So very fun. There was a couple of things that are funny. So first of all, I'm going to post the video of me. I guess when the day this episode comes out, it would make sense to do that. So of me seeing the surprise and being like, dude, it's crazy. Like, you know when something just happens so fast and then you realize later? Like, it's like rare when that kind of happens. Like, I remember one time my dad almost got pickpocketed and I watched it happen and I made eye contact with the guy, and it still took me like 30 seconds for me to realize what had almost just happened. And this was sort of a similar thing. I'm sorry, I have to pause you. There's a blimp.
Oh, I was just telling Ryan.
When was the last time you saw a blimp?
Dude, that says Shark Week. At first I thought it said Smokin' Ween. I was like, what the? I was like, what is that? We're just smoking ween up there? I haven't seen a blimp in quite some time. It's been a minute. I thought they'd gone out of style. I haven't seen a blimp since 1927. What? There are only 25 blimps in the world?
Oh my gosh.
Chris is saying that there are only 25
They
blimps
used to
in the
be a
world.
big deal. They were such a fixture at football games. You know?
Dude, blimps fucking, that's crazy.
Blimps are kind of cool.
Blimps are sick.
Sort
dude.
of it's the bastard child of airplanes and hot air balloons.
Yeah. Didn't pan out.
No.
Hindenburg. It's the Vine
Do you think
of
that the
air travel.
Do you think that the Hindenburg really ended the blimp craze?
It seems like it had a big,
Probably so.
like blimp travel.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Damn.
crazy.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, no, it's all right. So, dude, multiple people were like, dude, you really like when you come into a place, you take a really wide turn. And I was like, really? That's what you have to say. I don't feel exposed enough. Now you're commenting on my odd turn radius.
What does that mean?
They're like, dude, you took that turn so wide
Into the place?
pizzeria.
Multiple people said that?
2 different people told
What a
me that
strange
separately.
geometric observation. I would not have clocked that for you.
That was one thing. Secondly, Danny Palmer got me a Nerf gun.
Mm.
And as I opened it, and Hillary goes, oh, God. And everyone's like, well, what's wrong? And she's like, he's going to like start hunting me down with that thing. What did I do when I got home? Fucking loaded that puppy up and hunted her down, dude.
Yep.
But those things rip.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, this
They've gotten
particular
better, I
one
bet. Yeah.
is pretty strong. So I'm probably
gotten-
not going to be shooting her.
They've gotten better. Yeah, they got to be
gotten
careful.
better.
You can lose an eye that way.
So that's the deal. It was hot up there. I
Mhm.
appreciate you guys coming in.
It was
It was a
warm.
hot day. What a funny and random fun thing.
Yeah, really, really great. It's just an enjoyable experience all the way around. Got to meet Brent.
Oh, yeah.
I really hit it off with Brent.
Brent was in the mix.
Brent was there. Brent was $1 million man. I really enjoyed talking to him.
Guys' Day nominee.
He is so 100%. We might even give him a horse.
He might be on,
We might even give him a horse to be on the front line.
he's on the board.
Yeah, he's on the board of Guys Day. Brent is going to be riding up in the front flank, up and down the line, being like, guys, are you ready? We need to give him a flag. You know?
Exactly the day we've been waiting for.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. So good.
Dude, he gave me a good gem the other day. I was complaining because I bought a basic economy fare on Delta, and I didn't realize that they've changed it this year that you no longer get MQMs from those.
Oh, wow.
Or miles. I mean, I bought it with miles, but yeah, it's like super savage. Anyway, I was bitching to him about this. He goes, dude, I told you. And then he goes, if you purchase the Piker fare, you're going to get treated like a Piker.
Biker?
Piker.
Piker. Wow.
Piker is like a loser.
It's
I
the
guess.
British. It's
Oh,
the
is that
British
what it
term.
is?
A piker, I think, is a British term for like a gypsy, or is that pikey? I think it's
Interesting.
piker.
Interesting.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I've never understood what it meant. I just have always known that he meant it in a derogatory and negative
Yeah.
way to whoever the Piker was.
Pretty good.
Not based
pretty
on
good.
it. Yeah. So
I like
anyway,
that.
yeah, I'm glad you guys got to spend some time together.
Nice to see him. We talked watches for a while. He's got
yeah.
a pretty nice piece.
He's a good watch guy
He's
for
got
sure.
a very nice piece. Not gonna lie. I saw it immediately, and I thought, oh boy,
You know what's funny?
I'm
So-
about to lose 45 minutes to an hour.
So yeah, he loves consumer goods. But dude, so Hillary said that you said to her at one point that you were like, man, there's some nice watch. There's a couple nice watches in this room, and that she was just like, Phil and who?
Yeah.
She knew this one guy always has like.
Yeah, we had only,
fancy watches.
only 6 or 7 dudes there, and 30% of the party was wearing watches that most of the
Expensive
world
watches.
can't get, So it was pretty cool.
There's a big watch showing in the building.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, dude, good stuff. I appreciate you coming through.
Awesome.
I know you've been busy
Yes,
doing all
it's-
sorts of stuff.
I've been around, been getting around. We went to Maine for 7 or 8 days, and boy, what a place.
Did you drive the?
We drove.
Was it so? Is there a place to charge your car up there?
Oh yeah.
easy peasy?
Everywhere. Man, Tesla's ubiquitous at
It's
this
easy
point.
now?
Yeah. And also my parents have one of the chargers at home.
Oh, amazing.
So that changes the game and makes me realize how much better our lives would be if we had a charger at home.
So is this saving you a ton of fucking money now that oil is so expensive?
Yeah, we could not
amazing.
have timed
It's
the switch
perfect.
to an electric vehicle any better.
Dude, $6 a gallon in New York, like
It sucks.
effectively.
Sucks to guzzle.
Good for you, man. That's so badass.
Yeah, costs like $18 to fill up the Tesla, for a full battery, and loved it. I love it. I mean, most importantly, it's just really fun to drive. It's a totally different experience.
Yeah.
But we were up in Maine, and Maine is a full 15 degrees cooler than New York, just every day. So a 95-degree day, you've got an 80-degree day in Maine.
Yeah.
And it's not humid, we're on the water, and it's just an escape, man.
Yeah.
New York has gotten so bad, it's so hot and so unbearably, inescapably hot that
Yeah. It's hot.
I just want to carve out as much time being away from here as possible in the summer. So we went up there, and I didn't realize how little I have to do right now.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really realize that, just for lack of a better word, I was on vacation.
It's great, man.
Because Sierra had to work.
You'll have to see it.
And I always assume I have to do things.
Mm-hmm.
But I had worked really hard for 3 months, grinding and traveling and being on the road and doing all this to lock down a sort of 3 to 4 week period of my summer where I wouldn't have much to do. And then all of a sudden I was in the middle of it and didn't, because there's nobody for me to say to put paid time off in the calendar app for.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody that I have to clear vacation days with.
Right.
And so if I just all of a sudden I'm all just on vacation, right? It's sort of like, oh, I guess I need to invent things for myself to do.
Totally. And I think
It's very weird.
for what we do, that is the healthy relationship, in my opinion, because there's a way, the reason why you have to be so, I'm going to find things to do ish, is because you're the only one who propels your business forward. No one else is going to do shit for you
Yeah.
if you're not trying, right? So there's lots of things that you don't have to do that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go 10 years without doing any of those things, you'll find yourself in a much worse place
Totally.
than the person who was.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what you're talking about. Where there'll be times where I'm like, oh my God, I have so much to do. And then I'm like, do I though?
Yeah. Yeah.
I stay busy, but then like if I want to take, if I've been crushing it, working hard, like there's no reason I can't take a couple days to myself.
Yes, but that's my point, right? So typically, I think we will have a couple of days in a row that are just all of a sudden a little quieter, but then it's usually right back. You've got some shows or whatever. This was I was adrift at sea with no wind for like 3 weeks. I really, truly was.
Wait, what do you mean though?
I was up in Maine all of a sudden, and Sierra's waking up early. She's got to log on to her stuff for calls.
Did you say 8 days you were there?
Yeah.
But you just said 3 weeks.
Right. Well, so even the week coming into that,
Got it.
I just played a lot of golf.
Nice.
And then we were in Maine for 8 days, and that was even less activity. And then when we got back from Maine this week, it's all picked back up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, that was a difficult readjustment. Because as I said, just as there's no I'm leaving on vacation, there's no I'm back from vacation.
Yeah. The problem with settling into vacation too much is that it then becomes hard to become a person.
I got
again.
back, and all of a sudden the day, 2 or 3 days in a row just smacked me in the face.
Yeah.
Because, I had to get from one thing to the next. My whole day was filled, and I was like, oh, who did this? And I realized, it was me. I agreed to work again. And so whatever, very busy, but Maine was great. Now, there's some things of note. First of all, we were up in Maine. We went out on the boat one day. We planned a little picnic, dropped the anchor off of a sandy sort of cove, and we were in the islands near Portland. And out of nowhere, the Coast Guard came over to us with their lights flashing.
I saw this.
And boarded us.
It's like anytime I've seen that, it's like surreal how good they are at doing it.
Oh, they're good.
It's fucking nuts.
They're
dude.
built for it.
It's unbelievable.
And I'm not kidding. I have never been. You want to talk about my enjoyment of watching men work, men in uniform? This was that on steroids. They had a boat. They had a freaking boat. They had bulletproof vests on, full outfits, Coast Guard hats, right? They were wearing these like life preservers over their bulletproof vests.
What?
Yeah. And you're like, well, if someone shot you, would that life preserver still work? And then they
That's a
had
good question,
guns.
actually.
You know, they have guns. Any guy that has a gun on him for the for the police, I like that. I always look at it. I look at their guns so intently that I worry they think I'm going to snatch it.
You're gonna like snap the cat thing off
Yeah.
and pull it out.
Yeah. I think
Requiem
that
for a Dream.
I'm like, it's like looking at a woman's breasts. I'm like, oh, don't. They're going to know. Look at their eyes. Don't look at their gun. Look up at their eyes. Up here. That's how I have to remind myself. I'm like, don't look at that cool. What else does he have on that cool Batman belt? Because they got so much stuff on that belt.
They do.
And the Coast Guard has even more. They've got like compasses and
Oh right.
friggin' X-Acto knives and tool kits to help restart the motor. I don't know what it is, but all kinds of stuff. Flint and tinder in case they get, fucking castawayed.
So why did they board you or mount you?
It turned out to just be a routine thing. So they were going around, I think, it's probably like the equivalent of a traffic cop needing to issue a certain number of speeding tickets a day. So this
Interesting.
was just them coming on board to go down the checklist and make sure that we had everything.
Did they ask if you had been drinking?
They didn't, but my mom volunteered that we had not been drinking.
Okay.
We were, dude. I'm not kidding you. Like, if you could not script a more white privilege law enforcement interaction. We're on a boat.
Right.
Having like prosciutto and fresh mozzarella and arugula from our garden sandwiches,
Sounds
drinking
delicious.
spindrifts, and they come aboard, and the first thing they say is they yell to you, they go, "We're gonna board you. Have you ever been boarded by the Coast Guard before?" And they're like smiling about it,
Yeah.
and we're like, "Nope, this is our first time." And then they go, "We're gonna pull up. We'll just hop aboard and whatever." They come on. They're super nice. They actually had a lady with them too. So there was a lady coastie. That's what they're
Lady
called.
guard.
They're called coasties.
Coasties.
Yeah. And by the way, I talked to my friend who's in the military, and I was like, "What's the impression of the Coast Guard among the military branches?" And he goes, "Yeah, they've got a great life. They probably have the best life.
And it's hard to get into.
It is, and they're chiller. And I hate to make this comparison because I don't want to insult the Coast Guard, but I think a decent comparison is that the Coast Guards are to the other branches of the military what dentists are to the medical field.
Interesting.
It's a very good quality of life. I think it's not as intense and regimented and kind of hardo, like get in line, shine your boots type thing.
Right.
And they were all really pleasant, and they were going down the list. Now, my parents, especially my dad, are notoriously absent-minded, and historically, we've never had enough like life jackets on the boat. We will look at like a seat cushion and be like, that probably floats. And just really, really haphazard in making sure that we've got everything in order. But they're going down the list, and I'm like, oh my God, please let us pass. Please let there be enough. You have to have a flotation device for every person that's on the boat. And they had that. And then they had to have, I think it's like 2 fire extinguishers, and they had 3.
Did you know you even had one?
I didn't know we had any of this stuff. No, I didn't know anything. And it's like they take your license and make sure that you have no prior boating citations, all this stuff. They're just going down the whole thing. We passed with flying colors, and then they like got off the boat and we like waved goodbye to them. And I was like, wow, we really dodged a bullet there. And then I'm like, no, we fucking didn't. Like,
yeah, you didn't have like 2 kilos of cocaine on board.
We were fine, and we were always going to be fine, and that was just a very white privilege-y thing.
That's hilarious.
You
Yeah, you
know?
weren't smuggling Nova Scotian salmon.
Yeah, we
across
didn't have
the
any Estonian
maritime border.
sex workers
Yeah.
down in the hold. We're no human trafficking, no kilos of meth, nothing coming in. That they knock the top of the motor off and you see that hidden compartment.
Right.
So yeah, it was really exciting and fun and cool, and they were very attractive, all these coasties, and I don't know, it's kind of fun.
Dude, the first time I had really even become familiar with this process was from the movie Coda.
Yes.
Because there's that big boarding scene that happens there, and
Right.
they're not that nice to them, and
They're not that nice to them because they don't acknowledge them as they're coming aboard because they're deaf.
Right.
And I think I thought back to that. That's a great reference because that's exactly what I was thinking about. I was thinking, are they going to come aboard with the same, blood and vinegar that they did to the
Fervor.
boat in Coda?
Right.
And they were so much more genial
Mhm.
and kind of gentle as they pulled aside. But I do think that is a pretty accurate depiction for how they would do that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. And I wonder if it's harsher practice when it's like a commercial boat.
Yeah, maybe
No.
so.
Did you guys, what the fuck? Like, if they saw you three, there's no way they were like, these guys are
We
up
need to
no
have
good.
be on our guard.
Look at the way he's taking a bite of that prosciutto sandwich.
Right.
He's clearly up to no good.
Yeah, I mean they're flying like a flag, you know. They're exactly
You know?
that bread looks like it was bought at a farmer's market, which it was.
Which it was.
Yeah.
That's great, dude.
So that was really fun.
Cool.
What else happened in Maine? We had a really nice time there, and then we were going to go back through Connecticut and stay at my uncle's beautiful farmhouse for the weekend.
Where's he live up there?
He's got a house in West Cornwall, which is
Oh,
a
wow.
stunning place.
Wow.
But then we got a text from a very dear friend that he was going to propose to his girlfriend on
Yes.
Friday evening. And he said, I know it's very last minute, but would love to have you guys there. And so we changed our plans and drove all the way back to the city a day early to be with them for that. And between your surprise birthday party and then, being on the inside of this pending proposal, it's been a fun series of surprise events.
Yeah. Dude.
For me. I've been able to jump out of hiding and be
I
like,
know.
ha ha!
I know.
Yay! And that's really fun. It's fun to celebrate your friends.
Super fun, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I'm happy. So did you guys do any like wedding stuff while you were up there too?
Yeah, we did a little bit.
How is that going?
It's in good shape. We've kind of, I think everything is in place. I think that we walked the site. Everything looks good. We had a little bit of a disagreement. We had a little bit, Sierra and I, over a what I would call a major piece.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do tell.
So, the site where my sister got married is in front of our house, overlooking the water, which is the most obvious place to have our ceremony because it's on the water, it has the view and is stunning and is where my sister had it. But our wedding planner had told us that given the number of people we have coming, which is clocking in now at about 100.
Is that more or less than your sister?
It's more.
Got it.
Originally she had planned for 150, but then, that was their original wedding. And then COVID happened. They delayed again. And then they got legally married and had a child. And then they just decided to have a very sort of a much smaller, more intimate ceremony of like 50 people.
Nice.
And our wedding planner told us that with 100, that site was going to get a little bit congested. They're always using these terms like the flow. It's going to mess up the flow. It's like, well, just tell people to walk slower. What do you want me to say? Like, let's direct them like sheep. They'll be fine. But no, Sierra instantly didn't love that. She wants the flow to be good. It's got to be a good flow.
Heavy flow.
So, she said it'll be fine. We just may have to have some of the guests stand in the back. And I had no problem with that, but Sierra didn't love that. She didn't want people standing. And so that's when Sierra started thinking, well, maybe we can have it on this other sort of lawn area, which is in the woods, and doesn't really have a view. But there's a really cool footbridge that leads over there, which I could tell as soon as she got it in her mind that she would walk over that bridge in her flowing dress like some elven princess emerging from the brush. It was going to be very hard
Link
to divorce her from that idea. Just coming out of the mists to
Dude,
tap me on the forehead with eternal life. Summon me to the Netherlands with my pointed earlobes.
That's fucking great.
So I just knew it was going to be very difficult to shake her from that, and I kept thinking, okay, this is going to be a moment where I'm going to have to exert executive male authority.
Uh-oh.
The only way for me to get my way on this, because I've conceded on 99% of the wedding stuff.
Mm-hmm.
From a combination of just choosing to not care, but also knowing that she cares a lot more than I do.
Yes,
I want to
yes.
give her what she wants, and
Correct.
etc. But on this
The noble
one,
way to go.
I really wanted to get married in front of on the other lawn with the view of the water where my sister got married, and I really wanted it, and I just thought, okay, I'm going to start nice. We're going to start gentle.
Step one.
And how many days and how gradually will I have to turn up the heat before I say, something like, we're doing it over there. End of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Something really like almost, I don't want to say misogynistic, but like
Old fashioned.
yeah, but
And that's that.
yeah, that's it. End of discussion. End of discussion. Throw an end of discussion through at her way, which I've never done before. I've never just like blatantly told her. Now I had some reasons for this. One was, we've been working on the garden around the main house for months with the idea that that's where the ceremony would be. And this other lawn, there's been no prep because there's been no thought that, so behind the scenes, my mom is thinking like, well, this ceremony's going to be here. Like, yeah, we're going to spruce this up, and lots of work has gone into that. And, I think I was just like, yeah, that therefore that's where it needs to be. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Plus I didn't buy what the wedding planner was saying that people would need to stand, because I was eyeballing this space for 100 people. And as someone who routinely performs in rooms that have 100 people or more that are much smaller than this lawn,
Mm-hmm.
I thought there's going to be no problem packing this many people in seated.
Right.
We're not going to they've got this incorrect.
So, okay. And is that what ended up unfolding?
Not really.
Right. I'm really bad at that too, at eyeballing chair capacity, where I'll look at a theater of people and think that like there's half as many as there actually are.
The issue came down to we wanted to do if we wanted to do the ceremony there as well as the cocktail reception drinks prior to heading to the tent for the big dinner and dancing and stuff. It was going to be hard to move that many chairs out of the way with everybody kind of mingling around waiting for their drink. So we had this idea that maybe we would have everyone do sort of like a guided walk through the woods and the gardens or whatever, while we got everything out of the way. But again, it just came down to the idea that the flow would not work. And if you have people moving the chairs in and out, somehow we were going to have to pay them extra to do that. And ultimately, I just, as is the case with everything, I fucking gave it up. I gave up the fight.
Wow. So it's being moved?
Yeah, we're doing it her way.
Okay. Wow. I thought that this was going to end with you triumphing.
No. I lost again.
0-10.
I lost again. And now I'm at a point where I don't know if I'll ever win anything. I am defeated. She is undefeated. I don't know what I'll have to do to even regain the possibility of ever winning something. Her mind now is like, it's sort of like, I think when you let a young child come sleep in your bed, right? People are like, as soon as you break the seal, dangerous game.
Yeah.
Because then they're going to want to do that. You're going to want to do it. It's nice, but then they'll sleep in there until they're 14 years old. And you just can't allow it. Separation of church and state. I don't know how I will ever be able to tell her. Now, I say that she's a very reasonable person. She's not demanding. So hopefully we'll just be able to meet in the middle somewhere. But
at some point,
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Once again, I was.
Dude, the wedding's tough, man. It's like you're fighting up in weight class. There's nothing you can. There's nothing you can really do. As skilled as you might be, like it's her thing. Like it's just what it is.
So she'll get her fucking elven mystical journey across the bridge and all of that, and I'll be waiting for her, like hold my dick like a loser. Just like, well, here she comes.
Oh,
everybody turn their heads. Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. I'm being an asshole. But that was an interesting moment,
Yeah.
And so that was the big kind of thing we finally decided upon. And with that out of the way, now I think the rest is just minor, checking some boxes and things like that.
Yeah.
But we managed to we had gone over our budget a little. We managed to claw back within the budget, which was a real thrill for me. Because, we were going to have to make up the difference, and now we're back in range. And everything is ship shape. We got the boys coming, Chris and Ryan.
Oh yeah.
The whole team coming up.
It's gonna
be a wonderful day and weekend.
I'm psyched, dude.
I'm excited.
The home stretch is upon us, man.
We're close, man. We're
getting there.
close. Now I have a suit. I have a suit to wear. We talked about that.
Yes.
I'm wondering if I need another suit. And I'm talking something cool.
That forest green.
Well, I've got this suit which, was bought for the ceremony, but could very well be used for the sort of Friday night bridal dinner reception drinks outfit, which would open me up to buying something for the wedding, the ceremony. I could flip the script because I started warming up. Once I lost the location, I was like, now I need something for me, which is how it works. I need to remind myself that I have the power of choice.
You have leverage.
And that I have anything at all. And so for me, that might be going out and revenge buying something preposterously expensive, like a James Bond suit. I don't know, something cream, something adjacent to the color she's wearing. I don't know. I don't know what it'll be.
No, that seems. Well,
I would obviously run it by her, but the suit I bought was very inexpensive, and so I'm wondering if there's something that I could get that would just be truly cool.
Yeah. This is the ultimate shop for the occasion moment.
I reached out to. Do you know the Throwing Fits guys?
No.
They have an amazing men's fashion podcast. They just got a major spread in the New York Times. They're hilarious. I've done it before, back when it was at Barstool. It was Failing Upwards, and now they've gone alone and they've grown and they're doing really well. And I ran into is it James? I ran into James at brunch in Brooklyn. And we caught up, and these guys, you'd like these guys. They're
cool.
Fucking hilarious, and they're not too serious about fashion. I think the podcast does a quick rundown of like what you're wearing and gives you some tips or whatever, and then get into everything else. But I asked him for some advice on where to go, and he was like, well, you've kind of run out of time to do a custom suit, which was a relief because that's when you do really get expensive.
Mhm.
So I got to get something off the rack, and he threw me towards a shop in Soho that does some cool stuff, and I might dip a toe.
Yeah.
I might dip a toe.
Dip, dude.
Yeah.
Dip.
So we'll see.
Sick, man.
I got my visa for Kenya and Rwanda.
Wow.
I'm going to get my immunizations, which I'm concerned about.
What are they?
I think it's typhoid,
Is it for Kenya?
yellow fever.
Yeah.
I'm going to take some malaria pills.
Oh yeah.
It's I think it's more for Rwanda.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's new. When I went, I only needed to like I could choose to take malaria pills, but maybe I had just already been immunized for this other stuff.
It's possible. It's hard to get a read, dude, because we reached out to the travel company and asked for their advice, and they just responded saying we are not legally allowed to offer you advice on which vaccinations to take.
Interesting. You're good. You like get them, but like you're fine.
Really?
Yeah, dude. And there isn't even bad malaria in East Africa. Like you don't have to worry.
I think where we're going in Rwanda is a low risk area because of the elevation.
Oh, interesting.
The higher you are, the less likely you are to get the malaria mosquitoes.
And stuff. Interesting.
But that through the rest of Rwanda, where we fly in on the way in, it's a 3-hour drive from there. I don't know. I don't know if that's a high risk area.
It's not.
If anyone listening has any clue,
bro, I know some of this
but you
stuff.
went a long time ago.
No, I didn't. 4 years ago. It's not a long time ago.
You're right.
I'm just saying it's not a high risk for disease at all. And it is like this, it is so, they have their shit together so much there.
It's not a knock against the country.
I know, but I'm saying like, I don't recall getting immunized, and they were all joking about how malaria in Western Africa, you can get it really bad, but how over there, you're like, nobody really ever gets it. And like I took the pills just in case.
The reason I don't want to do it is because insurance doesn't cover these vaccinations, and I don't even know what they're going to cost. We could get crushed.
Where did you see was there like a CDC thing? Where did you see the recommendation?
You go on the website. It has a list of things that they suggest that you have.
Interesting. Do you know
I think dengue is on there.
They even have immunization. I've had that before, by the way.
Well, I don't even know what dengue is.
It's some stupid thing. I got it in the Caribbean. You just get like a really bad fever and shit and feel like shit.
Yeah, see, I don't want that on my honeymoon.
I know, but I don't think they even have that there. That was written on the list.
Pretty sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a bunch on there. All the HEPs.
You have all those already.
Do I?
Probably. So, dude, you need to check. You might have all these.
I don't know, man.
You might be immunized for all this stuff already.
Okay.
You should check.
I don't think I have malaria or yellow fever. Do I have yellow fever?
There is no malaria vaccine, I don't think. You take the yellow fever, you may have, but you went to China, so you almost definitely have it.
I don't think I got it for China. Did I need to have it for China?
I don't really know. Maybe things have changed for Rwanda. I just remember when I went, I just need to do the malaria pills, which I did I didn't even need to do, but I did.
You took them.
I did take them.
So it was preventative.
We all took them. Yeah, preventative.
Might be nice to have a few of those.
It was no big deal.
In the old, fanny pack.
I don't think that malaria is the end of the world, too. Like, I know it sucks.
Yes, it is.
You always, when you have it, you always have it. But like, I think you'd be like,
I don't want malaria.
I don't either. I don't. Dude,
it has killed so many people.
I know, but I'm not saying not to take. I'm not saying not to take the pills, but I don't think it's like something to be scared of. That's all I'm saying.
I'm scared of malaria. I think that's the one I'm the most scared of. I think more people died of malaria during the Civil War than like bayonets. I could be wrong about that.
I think it's like pretty treatable.
Almost certainly wrong. But dude, it has ravaged it, isn't it? It gives you really bad diarrhea, right?
Makes your lip all fucked up.
And then makes you so dehydrated you die. Isn't that right?
I think if you're not treated properly, then it can be dangerous. Yeah. But I don't think like these days it's a big
Boy,
deal.
we're gonna have a whole lot of facts from Ryan at the end of this episode.
But dude, don't be worried. There's nothing to worry about, man. Like you're going to a pretty chill part of Africa. It's gonna be great. I'm excited for you.
Nice. Okay, good. That's my update on life. I have one more thing I wanted to ask you about in the spirit of weddings.
Sure.
So an ex of mine, a girl that I just sort of dated, but she was great. For not too long, probably 3 or 4 months, got engaged,
Mm.
and I liked the photos.
Mhm.
Am I an asshole for doing that?
No. Why would you be?
I don't know.
What's asshole-ish about it?
They probably don't want to see from me. They
Why-
don't want to hear from me. They don't want my stamp of approval.
Do you not like other things? Is this the only thing you've ever liked?
I think I've liked a few of their couples pics.
I really don't think you're being an asshole at all. I don't think that you somehow liking it means shit. Like, they're not like, I can't believe he would do that. Or like, what?
Let me add a wrinkle. The guy follows me, which makes me think he might have been a fan.
Okay.
And it's entirely possible that he has no idea that she and I used to date.
Got it. I still don't think you're an asshole. You used to date her. Who cares? Like,
Yeah.
you know?
And it ended very amicably. It was no big deal.
Right. I
And now
think-
she's happier, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah, I like people's things who I used to date all the time, but, and I think that the engagement thing is no different than just any normal post.
Okay. That's good to
I
know.
see what you're saying. Like, somehow you're like big time in the guy or something, but you're not.
Okay.
That's not what it is.
I don't want
You didn't
them.
comment.
I don't want them. I didn't. I don't want them or him or her to think that I am reminding them of my former involvement.
I don't think that they think that.
Okay,
But
good.
who knows? Maybe they do, but I don't think that they do.
Got it. All right, that's good to know.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
That's
Sweat.
good to
I wouldn't
know.
sweat it, dude. That
I
is
didn't sweat it
interesting, though.
much. I didn't sweat it too much. It wasn't the malaria sweats.
You were in schwitzen.
No. All right, what do you got? You got some
Well,
stuff?
dude, I've been thinking. Was having a kind of Francis thought the other day, where I was kind of like, my sort of spending habits have really ramped up
Uh-oh.
a bit, which is bad because at first, like, I sort of, if there was ever a moment where I started to make more money or something, it didn't necessarily affect my lifestyle at first, but then gradually, I started to do things that were like became normal that I never would have done before.
Give me an example.
I don't know, either for convenience, like how casually I'll order in Uber Eats is concerning to me.
Yeah.
Whereas
you gotta-
before, I had a no Uber Eats policy. I wouldn't even do Uber Eats because it was just too expensive. Because there's fee-wise, it ends up being more expensive than some of the other ones. So
Really?
I just wouldn't.
What do you use?
I used to use Seamless, which at the time was less expensive than Uber Eats, all things considered.
I think all of those are really a trap.
So I don't know. I think Seamless has maybe changed a bit, but back in the day, it used to be that they were in-house delivery people. So like somehow it made it a little less expensive. Whereas the Uber Eats, like you're essentially hiring somebody to do the whole thing.
Okay,
For
so you order dinner for you.
you. Mm-hmm.
What is the cost?
Not even that much, dude. But like, say
Come on.
say it's lunch. If it's
Oh,
like
you're ordering lunch on
sure,
Uber Eats?
say it's Saturday afternoon,
That's crazy.
$27.
That's crazy.
It's not cheap. It's
That's crazy. I'm sorry. You
Yeah.
can't do that. You got to
I'm just
walk
saying.
out of your house to get your lunch.
to grab stuff. I know.
You got to do that. Go to Sweet Green or a bowl place or sandwich
Mhm.
place. Yeah.
Regardless, yes, these are
Dinner-
concerning.
Dinner is fine
But why is dinner fine but lunch is not?
because dinner is the end of the day and you're settled and you don't want to go anywhere and you don't have the energy to cook. You've cooked a couple nights in a
Mhm.
row. You just say, you know what? Fuck it. And as long as you are selective about it and realize that ordering is as much of a treat as going out to dinner, you have to think of it in those terms.
Right.
You have to say ordering from a restaurant is as though we are going out to dinner.
So, but it's only not because it's just inevitably less expensive. I will never order from a place that I would have gone out to dinner, if that makes sense. If I'm going to spend that much money on food, I want to go to the place.
This is interesting because we rarely order, but when we do, we only order from
good
places
shit.
that we would have gone to dinner.
Right. So I wonder about that. Like, so if you break it all down, right? Like, where do you I wonder where we like measure up against each other and stylistically. So like, for example, if you guys are going to 2 like nice dinners a week or something versus,
We don't do that.
I'm not saying you do, but I'm wondering style wise,
Mm.
specifically how that all breaks down, where it's like, okay, when you order in from a place that's really sick, right?
Well, it depends. That's a good point. I mean, no, I would, man, a lot of those super nice restaurants in COVID, they opened up delivery options,
Mm-hmm.
which was really fun. There was this sort of, let's call it Prague Spring of delivery
That's
from
funny,
places
dude.
like Lartuzi and friggin', you know, all these amazing places. And now those places have gotten rid of their
They don't
delivery
do it anymore?
options. Yeah, because they don't need to, because everyone's back at their
Mhm.
restaurants. And so now when we order, you know, we like to order Indian food.
Mm.
That's a thing we'll often order.
Has that become a thing for you? Have you guys always been really into it?
I don't know. We haven't always been, but it is definitely probably our most go-to order
Wow.
thing.
Wow.
And it's a treat. We love it.
I love it too.
We'll do it like once every 2 weeks probably.
Mhm.
And we don't really order as much now from restaurants that are like, you know, entrees and things like that. It'll be usually something in the vein of a delivery. So I don't
Mhm.
know. Maybe, but I say that, and I also say that I have this feeling where like ordering cheaply, because we're just being lazy, like a poke bowl
Mhm.
or a rice grain bowl. I mean, even that still comes out to being like $50-$60
I know,
for 2
I
people
know,
with
I
all
know.
the fees
Yeah,
and the tip and
I
all
know.
that. And
Which
I'm just like,
sucks.
what's the point?
I know.
Why didn't we just cook up some frozen shit from our freezer? The food's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we bother with this?
Right.
So that's sort of my feeling on it. If
Yeah,
we're
it's
gonna
good.
order,
Get
I
something
might
good.
as well spend $120, $100, $120 and order some really cool stuff that we don't make ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, we have not been great about cooking historically. The past 3-4 weeks, Hillary's really been fucking crushing it. Shout out to Hill Dog.
Hasn't she been away?
Yeah, but she's been back now. Well, maybe not 4 weeks, but like she's been back for like 2 or 3 weeks.
God, I can't keep track
I know,
of
it's
where you
crazy.
and I are in the
I know,
world.
I know. But anyway, yeah, we'll talk more about that trip on the next episode because I don't think we've actually talked about it at all yet. But dude, she's been really cooking a shit ton. She's a really good cook, dude. She has good instincts. Like she'll just kind of like make decisions that weren't written down
Cool.
and like have the confidence to do it and do it well. You know what I mean?
It's impressive.
It's a thing that like, you know, she's got it, you know? Like if she were to spend a lot more time cooking, I think she'd become like an incredible
She's
cook.
got it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, baby, she's got it. I'm your Venus. I'm your fire. Cook me dinner. All right.
But yeah, anyway, so she's been cooking well. That's been nice. But dude, yeah, still like, all right, on a Saturday afternoon, for example, I'm hungover and there's just like nothing in my neighborhood that I want. So I'll order a fucking breakfast burrito from Two Hands, which is downtown, too far away. That'll be like $25, which is like just a waste of money. But I really fucking enjoy that thing. But this is the place I've been making
And then you
concerning
order lunch
decisions.
too?
No. I'm just saying, like,
How many times in a day might you order? Is there a chance that you're ordering 3 times a day?
no, never. And maybe on a weekend twice, maybe. And both of those will be like from places like that. Total damage will be like $60, which is a lot, but like whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then during the week, it's not really like that, but still, the fact that I am now doing that sometimes is not something that I would have ever done previously. And other little concerning things like how
Before you go,
frivolously I'll
Yeah.
rent a car. Oh yeah, let's just rent a car. Whatever. Yeah, we'll just rent a car. Done.
how many times? Why? Why are you renting so many cars?
Because I still maintain that like it's less expensive for us to frivolously rent cars than to just have our own car.
But how are you renting a car every week?
No. But like, okay, for example, I just rented one. We were in Tampa. I want to talk about that in the next episode too. But I just rented one. Then I was about to rent one this weekend. I'm not. I have someone lent me theirs, which is ended up being nice.
That's nice.
They offered.
Lent
Sure,
and
I'll
rent.
take it. But then,
Just don't take the L
but then my parents are having their anniversary party.
somehow.
My parents are having an anniversary party. And you know, I rented a car for that.
Yeah.
No problem. It's the middle of August. So I would say if you break it all down, I'm probably renting in New York City 5, 6, 7 cars a year.
I don't think that's bad.
It's not that
I don't
much.
think and it's definitely less expensive
Right?
than owning a car. 100%.
But still, normally, like, for example, this weekend, like before, I would have had no problem just like taking the jitney if I were going to go to the Hamptons, or taking a train, or even a fucking bus. And now I'm just like, nah, fuck it. You know what I mean? And that's
Mhm.
just like, it worries me slightly. And maybe I'm right to be worried. And maybe it's just like PTSD to like back earlier in my career when I'd like make a bunch of money real quick and then I'd spend it all.
Okay.
And then be like, I should have budgeted that out.
So,
You know?
okay, the two things that you've talked about are ordering food and renting cars. I think that both of those things are are in a way a gentle improvement for you in your quality of life, right?
Oh, I hope
Which
so,
you've
yeah.
earned because you're making more money, right?
In
So
theory, yes.
you are doing better, and therefore you are allowing I'm saying compared to the days when you
Totally.
didn't do any of these
Totally,
things,
totally.
sold your blood.
Totally. No, you're right. You're right.
So, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. You are allowed to improve your quality of life in conjunction with an improvement in your income
Mm-hmm.
for certain, and shouldn't punish yourself for that. I think that the things you've just mentioned are less worrisome than what I do, which is like, oh, I've made a lot of money this month. I'm going to treat myself to an insanely out of touch purchase.
Right.
Something
right.
that's like so beyond, if you can kind of keep an eye on, well, I made X, so now I can spend 20% of that on
Right.
frivolous shit to make my life better, then great. Nobody is that good. We're not Warren Buffett.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah.
keeping an Excel spreadsheet. I hate to say this, but all my truly smart, very successful friends, no matter how much more money they make, they all do keep spreadsheets
They do.
of their income and their sort of taxes and their expenses. They all have a very good handle on their P&L.
They all have spreadsheets.
Yeah.
They keep personal spreadsheets.
A couple of them I know do.
That's crazy.
And it makes me feel like I'm stupid for not doing it.
I mean, listen, I think there's ways to be on top of it without having to be that specific. You know what I mean? Like if you can be on top of it. I don't know. Like I hear you about the kind of big purchase thing being, something that could give you anxiety because, like you said, sometimes there'll be something and there's no end in sight to that behavior.
Exactly.
Is the biggest problem potentially.
Exactly. There's always going to be
You started chasing the
something
dragon.
big to buy.
Right. That thing, like the process of conquering, buying, enjoying, and then coveting the next
Yeah.
more impressive good
Mm-hmm.
is potentially concerning. However, it doesn't have to become a trend.
No.
And there are isolated incidents where you could buy yourself a nice thing and just really enjoy it.
Right. But here's what I would say. The ordering food thing. I mean, I know a lot of people. I would say the majority of people I know who order food, not only more than they cook, but many exclusively order food.
Mm-hmm.
Every dinner,
Yeah,
single
I
dinner
won't do
they
that.
eat in New York City is either at a restaurant or ordered from Seamless.
That's
Or,
expensive.
caviar or fucking Uber Eats. I know a lot of people for whom that's the case. First of all, I mean, I can't help myself. From an environmental perspective alone, the amount of packaging that those people are going through on a nightly basis, because they're not friggin' washing the plastic containers that the stuff comes in and then recycling them.
So can I ask you a question? If you're recycling, does it have to be thoroughly washed?
I think so.
Okay.
If you try to put plastic containers that have, fucking burrata crusted all over the sides
Right.
and are greasy and stuff, the recycling center can't remold that into workable plastic, I don't think.
Right.
I don't think they're power washing it.
Um.
The worst
Right.
thing, and I've talked to you about this, when we used to order sugar fish,
mhm.
sushi.
Breaking down that box.
Oh my God.
It's a nightmare.
No, it's the 40 tiny cups of wasabi, ginger, soy sauce, like miso. What are all of that stuff? To go through every single one of those tiny little monkey hat containers and wash them. You're like, what am I even doing this for?
Yeah.
We shouldn't have ordered it, but
It's a
we can't
pain.
help ourselves.
I agree. I agree with you
because
on
we
that.
care too much.
Breaking down the boxes and all the little things like you described, it's a pain to be like, all right, you enjoyed your meal and you just want to relax, and you're like, oh, now I have to like take on an arts and crafts project.
Yeah. Yeah. So we, ordering that much food, like ordering on a nightly basis. It's so funny because I know people who, young people who don't make much money. They're new to the city. They're in their first job and they just order because they don't have the time or the energy to cook.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't think that that's the reason that they're struggling to pay their rent.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. It's a huge part of it. Because what you can buy at Trader Joe's from the frozen section and how the cost of creating your dinner, if you're willing to even just microwave that shit, yeah, it's not as good as ordering a friggin' burrito or whatever, but you're talking a third, if not less, of the price.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, to do it every night, I mean, really adds up.
Mm-hmm. It does.
It really adds up. I mean, these guys, I'm sure let's say that on a night, Chris or Ryan, they're like, fuck, I have a lot of editing to do. I don't have time to cook myself dinner. I'm just going to order, right? There's something to be said about that, where it's like, well, you're freeing yourself up to do work,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't really put a price on that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have to order, it's kind of like billionaires who say, well, I bought a private jet and sure the cost is high, but it allows me to fly to 3 different cities on a given day to hit 3 different meetings. And you're like, oh, you can actually weirdly justify the cost of owning a private jet at that level from a work perspective. It's similar. That's sort of the same thing, I would say. Chris, thoughts?
For some reason, I have this superpower where I literally never order food. I just can't wrap my head around it for some
really good.
reason.
That's
and
good.
if I ever order food, I go and pick it up. And I'm a big Trader Joe's guy.
Trader
Nice.
I
Joe's
just go
is great, bro.
even if you just buy only frozen meals, it's cheaper. It's $6 for one of those, and it's just infinitely
It's
cheaper.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's is God's
I
gift.
have one right near me.
And
too.
I
young
go
people.
out of the way. I don't have one close to me, but I go an extra 25 minutes to get that because it makes my life during the week
so much easier.
Dude, when I was living in Brooklyn Heights and I was just tutoring, they had a Trader Joe's in the neighborhood, and I only ate Trader Joe's for 4
I know that
years.
one in the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For 4 years, I ate. That's all I ate.
it's great. They really do have good stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess there is one thing to be said too about if you're say you're quote wasting money on food or whatever, and if you think that you have made decisions where you're saving money on food and therefore you feel better buying an expensive item, at least you then have that thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Have a cool thing as opposed to eating. It's just you eat it and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You got nothing to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
So potentially, if you are worried about your excessive spending in the field of items, at
Mhm.
least it's you're getting stuff out of it.
Right. Right.
So whatever.
Okay. Very cool.
Very good. All right, you want to do a quick email and then
Hit me
call
with
her
an
a day?
email. Hit me with an email.
Hit me with your best shot. Okay, here we go. Honest mistake. This is called. Hey guys, along the logic of the use of the word literally, appropriate times to use it, etc. What classifies something as an honest mistake? What is an unhonest mistake? Aren't all mistakes honest? Because you never intended for the mistake to happen, which is why it's a mistake. We're on a road trip, can't quite figure this out.
Oh gosh, I disagree with this completely. I think there are absolutely dishonest mistakes.
Like something where you planned it type of thing, where you were a bad boy and you chose to do that.
If your motives were bad and you got caught and it was only getting caught that made you realize you'd made the mistake, then that's a dishonest mistake.
Uh-huh.
An honest mistake is like if I had accidentally somehow spoiled your surprise birthday yesterday.
Right.
Like which I almost did, by the way, because I was
Really?
texting you and I was like, I almost wrote like, yeah, I'll see you later tonight.
Okay.
And that would have been an honest mistake.
Right. Right.
Clearly he didn't mean to do that.
Which is funny because it was so off my radar. If you were to be like, yeah, aren't you doing the show at the Stand tonight? And I'd be like, oh, no, I'm not. You'd be like, oh, I must have gotten confused.
Right. I would have been able to.
You would have been able to
fudge
save
my
it.
way out
But
of it.
that's funny. You're right.
That to me would be an honest mistake. Whereas if for some reason I hated Hillary and I said, Giulio, don't tell anyone, but we're planning a surprise birthday for you tonight and I'll see you there. Act surprised.
Mm-hmm.
As a way of like fucking getting after her. And then you told her I'd said that. And I was like, oh, sorry,
That was
I shouldn't have done that.
Right. That was a dishonest
That
mistake.
was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. That's a dishonest mistake.
Another dishonest mistake is like cheating on someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's
It's to me, it's the difference between manslaughter and first-degree murder.
yeah.
First,
right, you're right.
premeditated
Wow,
murder.
you're right. You're exactly right. That's
Premeditated murder
That's really good.
is a dishonest. I don't mean mistake. I guess
Yeah.
I don't even know if you call it a mistake. A dishonest mistake, right? And then manslaughter is an honest mistake. I didn't mean to run over that person who jumped out into the road. I was driving the speed limit.
Uh-huh.
I guess, does that make sense?
I think don't you have to like have been doing something wrong for it to be manslaughter though? Like if you were just if you were just driving the normal speed limit and some guy jumped out in front of the car, is that even manslaughter?
Good question. I don't know the answer to that. Vehicular manslaughter. Is it like, because you do get charged. You do get charged with manslaughter,
For that
right?
situation, right.
It is a crime.
Yes.
It's a lesser crime, but it is
Lesser
a
better
crime. And so if you're just driving along and someone runs in front of your car and you're totally sober going the speed limit and you kill them, is there anything, or is the judge like, oh, that was just an honest mistake?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they probably examine it.
You know what I'm excited for? Facts with Ryan.
As am I.
Because I got a lot of questions.
Ryan, what do we got, pal? Let's get Ryan in the hot seat.
Here we go. Facts with Ryan. Facts with Ryan.
Okay, manslaughter one. Maybe on the next episode I can have that.
No
for
problem,
you,
no
'cause
problem.
You don't have the answer to that?
It's
The one I
just
care about the
contentious.
most.
It just happened.
From what I'm reading, I think you'll be okay, but I'll get a real fact for you soon. So let's get started from the beginning. Bravo Pizza is at the address that you said. It's at 257 Park Ave South in New York.
Good.
Blimps. Chris mentioned this earlier. There's only 25 blimps right now. AirSign Airship Group owns 8 of them.
Wow.
Man.
Piker. The definition of a piker is a gambler who only makes small bets or a person who withdraws from a commitment.
That's amazing.
Hang on. Pause.
Yeah.
Does that fit with what Brent said?
I think like ceremonially, yes. Like a
Remind
piker is
me-
just a loser, dude.
Remind me of his use of it.
He said if you're purchasing the piker fare, you're gonna get treated like a piker.
So piker, that to me, there's someone who makes small bets. It's somebody who's like abstemious and careful with their money, and therefore, yeah, I
Cheap.
think that's fine.
What
Yeah.
was the
works.
second thing you said?
A
Of it?
person who withdraws from a commitment.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
The first-
I think
the
it
It's
works.
the first
definition.
one. I'm good with
Yeah,
that.
it works.
Mm-hmm.
Life vests. The MilPro Life Vest can be fitted with front and back ballistic panels and thus be simultaneously a bulletproof vest and an operational jacket as a buoyant life jacket.
Are those available for sale to the public?
I think so.
I
Yeah,
would-
there's a
I
bunch
kinda
of
want
them.
one of
might have
those.
to get one of those
I
too.
kind of want one of those. That might be my wedding present to myself.
You said you drove through Cornwall, Connecticut.
Cornwall, yeah.
Cornwall. So Cornwall, Connecticut is home of the Covered Bridge.
Covered bridge. We drove across it.
Yeah, it's featured in
very
the
quaint.
opening scene of the 1967 drama Valley of the Dolls.
Wow.
Okay.
Malaria. 1 to 3 million people die each year from malaria.
That's a
90% of
huge
those
number.
deaths
Wow.
come from children ages 5 and under. So
Wow.
hate to see it.
bayonets, they were responsible for less than 1% of the deaths during the Civil War.
So then, what about malaria? What? How many Civil War soldiers died from malaria? Is the question.
I'll get back to that.
Because I said more people died from malaria during the Civil War than did from bayonets, and I don't know if that's true. You can keep going and we'll figure that out.
1.3 million. No. There were 1.3 million cases and 10,000 deaths.
Oh, interesting.
What do you
During
hear
the Civil War.
Do you hear the insane? That was insane
Not that
coincidence
many,
that the same number of people contracted malaria in the Civil War as die on a yearly basis
From it
today
now. That's
from the
crazy.
disease.
That is crazy. Coincidence.
In the United States alone, there's about 5 deaths a year now.
Got it.
Okay. The song you guys were singing was "Yeah, Baby, She's Got It" by Venus.
Mhm.
And then this was interesting. New York City implemented a permanent cap on the delivery app fees, so they can't exceed 20% of the order anymore.
Uh-huh.
They
Interesting.
did that around COVID. It's one of the only
Nice.
cities
I like
that
that.
have kept it since.
That's nice. Great.
Ryan, excellent work, man.
Thanks for
Really
Facts
love
with
it.
Ryan. Thanks for that, Ryan. And if you could try to find the manslaughter sort of ins and outs so that we can try to avoid that and just make honest mistakes when we kill people,
On it.
that would be very helpful.
Um,
Awesome. Anything coming up for you?
yeah, I'm in Seattle, July 28th. They're at the Crocodile. Should be a really good show. I'm excited for it. So hope to see you there. You can get tickets on my website, notjulio.com.
Very nice. I've got St. Louis Helium this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with Lil Sass from Barstool Sports, co-headlining. Going to be really fun. Get tickets for that, francisellis.com. He and I are also going to be in Red Bank, New Jersey on August 10th and Jersey City on August 4th. So get tickets for all of that, francisellis.com. And thank you so much, guys.